last night, the Reds played at Great American Ballpark. It was a dramatic come-from-behind victory. Do they have an encore tonight? It's game 2 of 3. Padres, Reds, straight ahead on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. And a pleasant good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Day. So glad to be back in the booth alongside Chris Welsh. Well, the Reds sent the home fans home happy last night. A 5-3 victory. And as Jay Bruce goes, often the Reds go. When he heats up, the Reds heat up. They've won 3 straight.
You know, Jim, following Jay Bruce's year this year is like watching a roller coaster go up and down. I mean, he's hot, he's cold, he's hot and cold. But one thing you can say about Jay Bruce, that he has been clutch many times for the Reds. He has got 19 close and late runs batted in for the Reds this year. That leads the National League. Let me break it down a different way. 8 times this year, he has either got a base hit or driven in a run to either tie the game or put the Reds ahead in the 7th inning or later. So when you come up with the big hits, oftentimes, that's the big thing about it. He is Mr. Clutch. He hit the walk-off home run to clinch it last year. He hit the home run last night to win it for the Reds this year. And that made it look like an awful lot like 2010, didn't it?
It sure did. He also had an RBI double, 4 RBI last night. Can the Reds win their 4th straight tonight? They'll send Homer Bailey to the hill. And like Bronson Arroyo last night, he's looking for the bounce back. The Texan and the Padres set to tangle on Fox Sports Ohio.
Produced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
Reds fans hoping for their 4th straight victory tonight. Sunny most of the day here in Cincinnati. Clouded up now. Understand there's some rain south of Cincinnati, but what's in store for the Queen City tonight? Let's go to Aaron Seabree from WKRC.
Well, most of the day has been dry, but that's going to change for the game. So you might want to take a poncho or an umbrella just in case. As the game starts at about 7 o'clock, we'll see temperatures in the upper 80s, which is a chance of a few showers or thunderstorms. But that will increase as we go in through the hours of the game. 83 by the 7th inning, 79 degrees by the final out. Again, we'll see the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms.
Homer Bailey, Chris, looking for a bounce back tonight.
Well, he is. I really think his last start, and that was against the Colorado Rockies. Remember how much it rained, and it rained during the time that he was on the mound. I think that really affected him, and he ended up getting a no decision in that ball game. Gave up 5 runs in 3 innings. It's been up and down for Homer, though. He's got 13 starts this year, 8 of them quality starts, so that's a pretty good ratio right there. But when he's bad, he's been really bad. He's given up as many 9 in 1 ball game. That was against the Mets. And what I've seen with Homer is that when he pitches against a team that is very aggressive, he has a good game, like against the Houston Astros. When he pitches against a team that's a little more tries to work the pitcher, like the Mets or like the Colorado Rockies, he has a little bit more difficulty. This team tonight that he's pitching against, the Padres, they're a very aggressive first pitch hitting team. He ought to have a good job out there on the mound tonight.
Well, the Reds hope they see Cordero to close it out. They hope Jay Bruce stays hot. First pitch, Reds and Pods, right around the corner on Fox Sports Ohio.
Brought to you by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. By your local Ford dealer. Ford, drive one. By the Regional Tourism Network. Book your trip at CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Skyline Chili. Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time.
Reds have taken the field, and here's the lineup. Manager Bud Black will send up against Homer Bailey. Will Venable will lead off. Bartlett in the 2-hole, middle part of the order. Maben, Kyle Blank's in there tonight. Orlando Hudson. Nick Hundley, 3 for 3 and a home run last night. Aaron Cunningham gets the start in left. Logan Forsythe at third base. And the pitcher tonight, Tim Stauffer. Chris, the Reds have been getting innings from their starting pitchers of late. Last time out, Homer Bailey, only 3 innings pitched.
A lot of that was due to the rain that came when he pitched that game against the Colorado Rockies. He was slipping and sliding all over the place. Not trying to make excuses for Homer, because here's a guy, even though he's, 25 years old, he has made 70 starts now, including tonight in the major leagues. Time for Homer really to step it up and become a real consistent part of this rotation.
Will Venable with the base hit into right field. He was 0 for 4 last night. So the first man aboard. Here's your 4 defensive lineup for Cincinnati around the outfield. Dave Sapelt getting the start tonight in left field. Stubbs in center, Bruce in right. Frazier at third, Giannis, Cairo, and Votto around the infield. Ryan Hannigan hanging the signs for Homer Bailey. But right off the get-go, San Diego has a runner on.
Well, it's worth repeating what we said last night at the very onset, that this is a very aggressive, on-the-bases San Diego Padre team. Every one of these guys up and down the lineup will run, especially the top guys like Venable, who's on base. He's got a big lead already.
Venable has 22 stolen bases on the season, as does Jason Bartlett. And Cameron Maben in the 3-hole has 29 stolen bases. This Padres team not only leads the National League in stolen bases with 142, but they lead Major League Baseball. And they got him at first base. Nice pickoff move.
It really was a very good pickoff move for Homer Bailey. First time he's picked somebody off this year. And you can see that he was going. Venable was leaning, trying to get a good jump. And sometimes you make a move and the runner sees that as the move that you're going home, and you come over to first base with a quick throw and you got it. Nice job by Homer Bailey to get himself out of some early trouble.
In there for a strike against Jason Bartlett.
That changes the complexion of the whole inning, really. The infielders are more relaxed now. Homer Bailey can go back to the full windup where he's a little better pitcher.
Both of these teams have the propensity to pick runners off. Most of the National League, Cincinnati and San Diego now tied at 14. Seen a roll as Chapman. He has a good pickoff move.
I'm not sure
Johnny Cueto has a good
that's a commentary on the great moves of the pitchers or the fact that they've got a lot of opportunity.
Well, it goes hand in hand, does it not? And Iasona says no, he did not go.
I do know this, that since Dusty Baker has taken over, they have had a real big emphasis on speeding up the pitcher's motion to the plate, making it more compact, picking runners off, keeping them close, giving the catchers a chance to throw runners out. Now, the downside of that is some pitchers will not be good when they try to accelerate their motion to the plate too much. They lose their stuff to the plate, maybe hang a ball in the middle of the plate, and then they give up a base hit or a double, and that run comes around the score because you're worried about the stolen base. But good balancing act so far in this ball game for Homer. Get a guy on, pick him right off.
1-2 pitch. In the air to right field. Easy play for Jay Bruce, and 2 down. I'll bring up Cameron Maben. Maben will step in with a .276 average. Looking for his first hit in the series. 0 for 4 last night. But he's hit safely in 20 of his last 26 games. .325 over that span. And he scored a team-high 61 runs. Hitting in the 3-hole. It's Homer Bailey looking, even though he gave up that single, for a 3-batter inning here. Has Homer sped up his delivery at all? Early on in his career, he was pretty easy to run off of.
Well, he was easier to run off of early on. This year, they've only had 4 stolen bases on him, 1 throw him out. He's given up as many as 10 stolen bases in years back-to-back last year and the year before.
Swing and a miss.
But for a guy like Homer, I mean, he's a big, tall guy, long and lanky, and it will always be a difficulty for him to try to stay compact. A lot easier for a guy like Johnny Cueto, who's shorter and built more compact, to stay compact. Homer's about 6'4", long arms and all legs.
1-1 in the count to Cameron Maben. Foul back. Homer ahead 1-2. We've seen Homer with the ability to bounce back after rough starts. July 28th against the Mets. Lasted a then season low 4 innings. Gave up a season high 9 runs 5 days later against the Astros. 8 innings, 1-run baseball. So let's see if he can bounce back tonight. There's a base hit, sharply hit into center field. Second hit of the inning for the Padres.
It's a young man that has really come a long way. He was a former #1 draft pick from the Detroit Tigers, Cameron Maben was. Eventually got dealt down to the Florida Marlins. That's where we really got our first look at him. And then, you know, he never really prospered as a hitter, as a #1 prospect they thought who would. Young man that came over when he was 15 years old to play in the Midland Redskin baseball program. Played 2 years right here in Cincinnati. They won the national championship one year, but the notable thing is that Maben played with the 18 and under team, even when he was 15 years old, and then again when he was 16. So this kid has been on the major league radar for a long time.
Kyle Blake steps in, 237 hitter. Pinch hit last night and struck out in his only appearance. Outside. It was said last night, a 42nd round pick in 04.
Well, sometimes you can be too big to play baseball, according to some scouts. And this young man looks more like a football lineman than he does a baseball player. If they wanted to keep an eye on him, he was kind of a draft guy that they would take a look at. And he loved baseball. Believe it or not, he never really played football. He was a basketball player in high school, played some baseball. But when you get drafted in the 42nd round and make it to the major league, that's the kind of underdog that a lot of people are rooting for.
Got that right. Saw there his major league debut in 09. Swing and a miss. He's been injury prone. He had that plantar fasciitis, which ended his 09 season. Had elbow surgery last year, so he's had trouble staying healthy as well. They like what they've seen, and they've slowed things down for him. Slowed down his swing, which I guess, Chris, can help a hitter just like it can help a pitcher.
Well, I think what they mean by that is that they don't slow down the bat speed.
Right.
They're slowing down all the extra movement. They're trying to make him compact. And when you're 6'6" or 6'7", that's another tough thing to do. It's always going to be a challenge. The one thing you can say about Kyle Blanks, when he centers the baseball, it goes a long, long way.
Yeah, he was putting him out of here in batting practice. No problem hitting him out of this yard.
I think a little nervous being a third baseman.
Well, they call it the hot corner. 1-1 pitch. Side. 2-1. Pretty much playing Blank straight up. Votto holds Maben on at first, and Bailey throws over. Homer wants a new baseball. Your home plate umpire tonight, C.B. Buckner. What you got on him, Chris?
Well, he's been in the major leagues for 12 years. He umpired in the 2005 All-Star game. Born in Jamaica. And moved over to the United States back in 1973, where he attended State University College of New York.
2-1 pitch, runner going. Here's the throw to second, and he's in there.
Good jump right there by Maben. Even with all the throwovers by Homer Bailey, Maben still was able to finally figure out what his key is. Is it the shoulder? Is it the back of the heel? What is it that makes Homer Bailey tick? So as soon as he lifted that heel up, off Maben goes. And even though that was a good pitch to throw somebody out on, Maben simply stole that off the pitcher.
Maben leads the team now, his 30th stolen base this season to lead the Padres. And again, they lead Major League Baseball. That's steal number 143 on the season. Give you an idea of the difference between the Padres and the Reds in that category. Reds have swiped 66 bases. San Diego 143.
Yeah, and it's different when you have a Padre team where about 5 or 6 guys run as opposed to, say, 2 burners.
Swing and a miss, and Bailey gets out of trouble. 2 hits, a man left aboard. We're scoreless. Reds coming to bat. tonight. Dave Chappelle gets the start, leads off in left field. Paul Janisch in the 2-hole, middle part of the order. Votto, Bruce, and Cairo. Drew Stubbs in center. Todd Frazier at third again. Ryan Hannigan will catch Homer Bailey. And they will face Tim Stauffer, the opening day pitcher for the Padres this season, Chris.
Well, you know, a lot of people will describe Tim Stauffer as kind of a generic Greg Maddux pitcher. Not an overpowering pitcher, although when he has to, he can throw it up there 92 to 94 miles an hour. He runs his fastball around the place a little bit. He got a little slider, throws a changeup. But for the most part, he keeps the ball around the strike zone and in the ballpark. He's only given up 11 home runs this year in 150 innings. That's what he has done right here at Great American Ballpark. And you say, well, Stauffer doesn't give up home runs because he pitches in a big ballpark. Well, this is a small yard, and he's had a very good run of it right here. Although home runs and him last time out, he gave up 3 solo shots against the New York Mets.
We'll see how aggressive Dave Chappelle is. Last 6 at-bats, he's seen all of 7 pitches. Takes the first one for a strike.
I guarantee you that Dusty Baker said, you better take that first pitch tonight or else.
And you talked about it last night, particularly against a pitcher which he hasn't seen. And most of the pitchers, obviously, he just came up that he hasn't seen in his career. To get a look at him, take a couple look at a couple pitches.
Well, what you don't want to do as a young hitter is to fall into a trend that becomes easy to scout and easy to pitch to. If you're a first pitch hitter, no matter what, last night he came up and he faced a left-handed pitcher and he swung at a breaking ball in the first pitch. That's not what you want to do. You want to swing at a first pitch fastball, yes. But you don't want to be so predictable up there that they start throwing you something that you might look for, but change it just a little bit and you become an easy out.
Stauffer ahead in the count, 0-2. Stauffer tied for 6th in the National League, 17 quality starts, leads the team. 0-2 pitch. 3 ground balls past the third base coach.
Well, that's from really throwing that 2-seam fastball right in on Dave Chappelle's hands. I mean, this is what Stauffer likes to do. You know, he's not a guy that will try to get you out. He will give you an opportunity to get yourself out. Throwing that ball down and in with a little movement on it, wants him to roll over on it.
So Chappelle had to get some new lumber. Steps back in. 190 hitter so far. Seeking his first RBI of his major league career. See if he gets it tonight. Looks at that one outside. 1-2. Takes another look at that one. We're even up 2-2. Just underway. Great American Ballpark. Jim Day sitting in the chair tonight alongside Chris Welsh.
Glad to have you here, Jim Day. Nice job last night. Looking forward to tonight and tomorrow. Hey, you're 1-0 as a Reds broadcaster, so that's not too shabby.
I'll take it. Come on, 2-0. And Chappelle, after falling behind 0-2, has worked the count to full. And here's the payoff pitch. Pop back and out of play. An 8-pitch at-bat for Dave Chappelle. So, in this one at-bat, he's seen more pitches than he saw in his previous 6 at-bats combined. So I think he listened to you, Chris Welsh.
Well, this is the deepest he has gone in the count yet this year.
Chopper in front of the mound. Stauffer, what a play. Wow. That was a big league play right there.
I'll tell you, I really thought that he may grab that ball and just go ahead and stick it in his pocket because Chappelle runs so well down the line that normally you don't make this play. But watch him grab it and then fade away throwing, kind of fading and throwing like a third baseman does on a slow roller play. That's as good as it gets right there.
And Chappelle can get down that line now. All in one motion.
Of course, they had that big Kyle Blanks down there at first base stretching about 10 feet off the bag for that ball.
It certainly helps.
Between his legs and arms, he covers about half that right side of the infield.
He is a big human being. Here's Paul Janisch, 229 hitter. Thought he had his first home run of the year last night. Off the wall, it was a double. 1 for 3 last night with that double. 19 RBI on the season. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Stauffer has his first strikeout of the night. Here's your Ford defensive lineup for the Padres. Aaron Cunningham gets the start in left field. Maben in center. Will Venable in right. Around the infield, Forsythe, Bartlett, Hudson, and Blanks. And Nick Hundley. Tim Stauffer, the battery tonight. Here's Joey Votto. A rare 0 for last night. 0 for 3, struck out. He did score a run after he was intentionally walked.
A lot of the guys around the Reds batting cage today were talking about Matt Latos and his stuff last night. I mean, big, tall guy, threw the ball very hard and threw the ball right by Joey Votto. I mean, challenged him with high fastballs and just blew him away. And you don't see that happen very often. Tough to pick up. You know, we're getting a pretty good look as to the reason why the Padres, you know, have such a good pitching staff. And it's not only because they play in Petco Park.
Votto. Deep fly to right field. That bad boy is gone.
Well, Stauffer went through the same sequence he did with Paul Giannis. Tried to get him out on an off-speed pitch down right here. It looked like it was a changeup. And he caught a little bit of the center of the plate. And Votto just went down and golfed that baby right out of here. I'll tell you, what a hitter.
You can't keep a good man down. Joey Votto safe at home. Safe and secure New York life. Jay Bruce, the hero last night. 8th inning, 3-run home run. Give the Reds a 5-3 victory. What a hitter. He's just a pleasure to watch on a night in, night out basis. Bruce with a shot down the right field line. Foul ball.
Watch his head. Joey Votto's head, while he swings, doesn't move an inch, and that's why he makes such good contact.
I got to give it up to our stat man, Joe Luckett. He was watching batting practice and said, Joey Votto is going yard tonight.
I like it.
You called it. I almost said it before he hit it out. But I probably would have jinxed it, even though I don't believe in jinxes. It's not the biggest limb to go out on. Say Joey Votto's going to hit a home run, but nonetheless, he said it. Full count to Jay Bruce. Bruce with a nice at bat draws the walk. First walk of the night for Stauffer.
Well, you wonder now if Tim Stauffer is becoming a little bit home run sensitive out there. Gave up 3 home runs in his last outing against the Mets. That's a big ballpark. Gives up 1 here in the first inning against the Reds. He's out here watching batting practice. He sees these balls flying out of here. You know, sometimes you can become a little too tentative as a pitcher here. And if you don't pitch aggressively in this ballpark, it will burn you in the long run.
Miguel Cairo last night hit number 1,000, and it came in fine fashion. A triple for his 1,000th hit. 266 hitter, 5 home runs, 25 RBIs. Jay Bruce on first, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. Here's a drive. Deep left field. Doesn't have enough. It's gone. Miguel Cairo touches them all.
Well, what do you do as an encore after you hit your 1,000th major league hit? You come right back the next day and launch one out of the ballpark. With Bruce on first, low and in, the same spot that Joey Votto takes him deep on. Stauffer gives up back, not the back-to-back, but 2 in this inning to give the Reds a 3-run lead.
Here's Drew Stubbs, fly ball right field. This will hold. The park will hold this one. Venable squeezes it, but not before the Reds hit 2 home runs and race out to a 3-0 lead. Edinson Volquez continues his work at Louisville.
Well, Edinson Volquez, let's get a new headshot of this guy because he's a different guy now. He's throwing strikes. He got rid of the dreads, and he's a guy that's throwing the ball extremely well down in Louisville. 2-1 overall, had a nice outing last night for the Louisville Bats. Earned run average down around 2. I imagine it is a very short matter of time before we see Edinson back up here in the big leagues.
Was that an electronic haircut? A digital haircut?
I guess that's a pretty good way of putting that. I don't know. That's what the beauty of the telestrator.
I think that's a first on our broadcast. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Homer Bailey goes to work in the second inning. Orlando Hudson to lead off.
Momentum inning here for Homer. You know, we've said it so many times. Your team scores you some runs. It is so important to go right out there and stick a 0 on the board.
Hudson had a couple hits last night, 2 for 3, walked, scored a run. He's another guy that can steal some bases, although not as much as Maben, Bartlett, and Venable, but 15 stolen bases for Hudson on the season. So you want to keep him off base, obviously. Homer's falling behind 2-0. 2-1. Talking about Volquez, he gave up 3 runs, only 1 earned. 7 hits, 7 innings last night. And Devin Mesoraco continues to hit. Belted his 13th home run last night. Here's a drive into center field that Drew Stubbs will run down for the first out. Get ready for Reds action 30 minutes before every game with the Emmy Award-winning Reds Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Get ready for the game with exclusive interviews, features, and the ever-popular, and I mean ever-popular, Tech Talk series with Christopher Welch. It's Reds Live, presented by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Who'd you have today?
Mark Berry. We had a little piece about what happens when you have two runners end up at the bag at the same time. And oftentimes you see it at third base. What his suggestion is, how he coaches his runners. Very interesting segment, actually.
I enjoyed the segment about the indicator.
The signs.
The signs, yeah. Exactly. Do you think third base coaches, or at least guys, here's another fly ball to center field. Easy play for Stubbs. He retires Hundley. Do you think guys that have never coached third base actually get in front of the mirror and practice?
Oh, no doubt.
It can't be the easiest thing to do in the world.
I guarantee you they do. I've seen it happen with minor league coaches. I've seen it happen with amateur coaches. I mean, even going all the way down to high school or below. I mean, it's a matter of an art, giving signs so that your players know what's on and the other team doesn't pick it up.
Certainly an art form, as you said.
Tomorrow on our CBTS Tech Talk, we've got our first of a series with Dontrell Willis.
Nice.
The D-Train visits. It is interesting. This guy is very articulate when it comes to pitching.
He's great to talk to about anything.
Yeah.
And he will go to the hill tomorrow. And a 115 start or 110 start here from Great American Ballpark. Aaron Cunningham at the plate, 235 hitter. Made the last out of the game last night, pinch hit. Going back to the last at bat, the Reds finally got out Nick Hundley. Couldn't get him out last night. He was the man, straight off the disabled list, 3 for 3 last night. But Homer with 2 fly balls to center field here in the second. So the Reds have a 3-0 lead. Went in there for a strike. Aaron Cunningham, born in Anchorage, Alaska.
Don't see that very often.
No. Although he went to high school in the state of Washington. Swing and a miss. He was acquired in January of 2010 from Oakland with Scott Hairston in exchange for Kevin Kuzmanoff and Eric Sogar. You know what his first hit as a Padre was? This doesn't happen very often. A grand slam.
Whoa.
His first hit as a Padre, the first player in franchise history to have their first hit be a grand slam. That one will be told to the grandkids. 3-2 pitch. Lazy fly ball right field. Bruce has got it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Homer Bailey. Reds with a 3-0 lead. McCoy. Plus, Hal shares a story about Hall of Famer Yogi Berra. It's the subject of Boys in the Hall this Sunday at 6:30 right here on Fox Sports Ohio. It's only on FoxSportsOhio.com, presented by 1-800-SAFE-AUTO and SafeAuto.com. And Todd Frazier downtown. Number 4 of the season, the 3rd home run of the game so far.
Boy, you talk about unloading on a breaking ball that you see the entire way. What a good swing by Todd Frazier. Stays right down on it. Not all that bad of a pitch from a pitcher's standpoint. Down around shin high. And he launches it. What a great look at our X-Mode, brought to you by Performance Honda.
7 of 11 hits for extra bases by Frazier, including 4 round trippers. So the Reds have come out swinging here against Tim Stauffer.
Well, so far, Stauffer has given up a home run on a changeup, on a fastball, and on a curveball. Exactly what he did when he pitched his last ball game against the Mets.
Hannigan right back to the pitcher. Stauffer knocks it down and makes a nice play. Current hitting streak's longest in the National League. Dan Uggla singled in the first inning tonight, Chris. He has a 33-game hit streak. There's your current hit streak tonight.
You know what's really interesting about his particular hit streak, and maybe Joe Luckup can look up the numbers, but he has so many games in that 33 hit streak that he's only had 1 hit in. And I think historically, if you compare Uggla's streak to others that have had his streak, his batting average during a streak is way lower. And he just happens to be getting 1 every night. Of course, when he came through here, he was struggling. But he is at any time ready to just go off. He's a great high fastball hitter. It's got some power, and he certainly turned it around after getting off to a horrible start.
Well, he's getting in the neighborhood of comparisons. They're going to start bringing out Pete Rose's National League streak and comparing that. What was that, 44 games,
Yep.
the National League record? Of course, 56, the all-time record by Jolton Joe DiMaggio. There's another right back to the pitcher, and Stauffer retires Homer Bailey.
Hey, Reds fans, if you're in the restaurant industry, let JTM Food Group help you with great tasting products for your menu, inspired solutions, and better results. JTM.
Back to the top of the order, Dave Chappelle. Chappelle was also the victim of defense by Tim Stauffer. A terrific play in the first. Let's hit the first pitch, a strike. Chappelle with that compact swing. Ground ball. See if Bartlett can make the play. And he does. But the Reds have gone yard 3 times. Votto, Cairo, Frazier, and a 4-0 lead.
been the thing for me is, just going in day out and being healthy. I mean, I feel good almost every day. So it's been able to give me that consistency this year that I've been looking for.
Our Geico quote of the night, Bill Bray on pitching consistently. And I know lefties stick up for lefties, Chris.
They do.
And you have been impressed with Mr. Bray, have you not?
Oh, I mean, you don't have to be a left-hander to be impressed with what Bill Bray has done. Having kind of conquered his arm issues with Tommy John surgery, come back from a lot of different things, he has really had a banner year this year. He is the go-to guy in the bullpen when you need a left-hander to get out. Dusty Baker's used him a lot, and he's been there almost every time up to the challenge.
He has fit right into the role that Arthur Rhodes had the past couple of years on this club. Stranded 82% of his inherited runners. Here's Logan Forsythe, the leadoff, the third for the Padres.
Don't you love the nickname that they give? I learned this from Joe Luckham. But a lot of the stat people give to left-handers who come in only to face one left-handed hitter. It's a loogie. Left only one guy. And that's what our Bill Bray is. He's a loogie.
Now, when I think of loogie, I think of something else. Now I learn something new every day. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. So your day's not a complete waste.
No. Heck no. Are you kidding me? I'm calling a Major League Baseball game. My beloved Redlegs. Ground ball. Frazier, nice play. And an out. Nicely done. He made a couple nice plays last night.
Well, he made nice range right there going to his left. And he takes a track where he goes a little bit towards left field in that, so he has an angle on it, but he comes up and makes a nice throw to first base and gets his man. Remember, Frazier was drafted as a shortstop, so he should have some range, at least enough range out there to play third base. But still, that was a tough play made easy by Frazier.
And not an easy throw. When you're in motion like that and you have to sidearm, and a lot of times that ball will tail, particularly to the right towards the first baseman. He made a nice throw right there.
Having a good night.
Yes, he is. Here's the pitcher, Tim Stauffer. 133 hitter. 24 games. One and one the count. Are you kidding me, Chris? This is a great day. It's a great night. I mean, not only do I get to sit next to the legend that is Chris Welsh, but again, I don't take anything lightly. One booth over, Dick Enberg and Tony Gwynn.
That's pretty large.
All I can say, if I can steal his phrase, is, oh my. Tony Gwynn, what a hitter.
Man, could he hit.
338 career hitter. I talked to him yesterday, said he's doing good. You talked to him at length today.
Yeah, he's had a bout with cancer, obviously, and everybody may have known that or heard about that, but he is now several years cancer-free and feels good.
I don't care how much gray hair there is right there or what he's going through. I bet you he could get a hit right now as Stauffer delivers a hit. I want to talk about raking.
You know what he told me one time? He said, because I watched Tony Gwynn for years, and it just seemed that pitchers would throw the ball down the middle to him. I said, Tony, did you ever get the feeling that you willed the pitcher to throw you the pitch that you were looking for? And he started laughing. He said, yes, you're the first one ever asked me that, but yes, I did. There were times when I willed the pitcher to throw me the pitch that I could handle, and he'd take it up the middle or into left field. And I mean, he was just such a talent, but a guy that worked at it just tirelessly.
It's like a Jedi mind trick.
How you like those unis?
You know what? I was just going to bring up those unis. And Chris Welsh, you were a Padre.
Yeah, that was the unis I wore.
Now, did you ever wear the brown, the all brown unis?
We had not brown pants. We had brown tops on the road. What an icon in San Diego Tony Gwynn is.
Mr. Padre. They also call him Mr. Video. You ever call him that?
I've never called him Mr. Video.
Uh-oh. There it is again. Come on, crafty left-hander. Bring it now. Now, I understand. Were you injured in that game?
I was kind of masking an injury. You know, back in those days, if you went on the disabled list, you were the last guy that they wanted to see around. So I pitched through some shoulder pain that I probably shouldn't have. But, hey, that's what we did back in those days.
Didn't you tell me a couple years back that you still have a Padre uniform or at least a jersey in your closet somewhere?
I'm sure I do, yeah.
Can we bring that in tomorrow? Come on now.
If I can dig it up, I will.
Which one is it? Is it the gold one?
I think it's maybe the one you just saw there. One of those.
Nice.
But I particularly like the white shoes and the gold sanitary socks. The brown stirrups.
Stirrups. I'm a big-time stirrups guy. 2-2 the count to Will Venable. Runner on first, 1 out. Up high, and we're full.
We had the Ozzie Smith throw going.
You did?
No, he did.
Those were the days. I tell you what, if you're going to land in Major League Baseball, is there a better city to land in outside of Cincinnati than San Diego?
Not a bad place.
Heaven on earth. Payoff pitch. Foul back. So you never called Tony Gwynn Mr. Video?
No, I never did. I'm not sure. Sometimes we read about the nicknames that are applied to players, and they're completely different nicknames that we will call a guy inside the clubhouse. Ones that you normally couldn't put in print or certainly couldn't say on a broadcast.
Well, lay one on us here. We were just amongst friends.
He was known really mostly as TG.
TG. What a player. What a broadcast team. Hall of Fame player, Hall of Fame broadcaster in my mind.
No doubt about it.
All around broadcaster in Dick Enberg. Back with the Padres. 3-2 pitch. And a walk. So Homer has got some trouble brewing here in the third. He gave up a single to the pitcher Tim Stauffer, and now has walked Will Venable, and Jason Bartlett will step in.
You really got to get to a point where, as a pitcher in the major leagues, that you can throw a strike when you have to. And that was a situation where Homer needed a strike. Will Venable's not a guy laden with a lot of power, has 3 home runs on the year, but you've got to challenge him right there.
So here's Jason Bartlett, flew out to right in the first. Bartlett came over in an offseason trade with Tampa Bay. Padres traded 4 players to get him. Started 124 games last year with the Rays. In 09, what a season he had. 320 average. It was a Rays franchise record, surpassing Carl Crawford. 2009 All-Star. That one will drop out of play. But he's had some trouble with errors this season at shortstop. 17 errors he has made at the shortstop position.
Well, after walking the previous batter, Homer's done exactly what he's needed to do here. Get ahead of Bartlett, 0-2. Maybe get a little breaking ball down, have him roll over on it, and see if he can't get out of here with a double play.
He's ahead 0-2. And it stays 0-2. Reds have given Homer Bailey a 4-0 lead. And he's trying to protect it here. 2 on, 1 out in the third. Swing and a miss. His second strikeout of the night.
He goes right back upstairs to the good old number 1. Second strikeout of the game for Homer, the second time he's used that high fastball to get it.
95. Bringing the gas. 3-hole hitter Cameron Maben steps in. Singled in the first. Stole his 30th base of the season, but he was stranded. 2 on, 2 outs. Righty versus righty matchup. First pitch in there, says C.B. Buckner. C.B. Buckner behind the plate. Dan Iasona at first base. Dave Scott, second base umpire, and Jerry Meals at third tonight. 0-1 pitch. Check swing. The sun is creeping out across the Ohio River in the Commonwealth. I see. Ground ball right side. Cairo makes the play and makes the third out. And Bailey strands 2. Reds with a 4-0 lead. Toyota signed during tonight's game Yolanda Williams of Cincinnati, who currently owns a 2008 Camry, will win this beautiful new Tundra on display here at Great American Ballpark. Register for your chance to win at an upcoming game by seeing your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. Every year, the best of the tennis world invades Cincinnati, and they're about to do so. In fact, one of them is already here. He's downstairs with Jeff Picoro. Pick.
Hey, thanks a lot, Jim. Yeah, he is one of the best, and he's seen a little baseball in his life, and a very special workout partner, I guess you could say, in the summertime. It's your buddy Homer Bailey, huh?
Yeah, and December is in our off-season. I've worked out with Homer, gosh, probably 5-6 years now during the off-season, so he's a good friend of mine.
You've got to come in here in the last couple of years, Andy Roddick, and watch him pitch, and excited about this coming week in the Western and Southern.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a place I've always played well. I've always looked forward to coming back to, so I've been out for a little while now, so I'm excited to get back out on the court.
Is this your favorite game, despite or outside of tennis?
Yeah, I mean, I like that Nebraska Cornhusker football too, but I'm always happy to see a ball game, that's for sure.
Big Ten now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Hey, Andy, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Thank you. Andy Roddick and his wife, Brooklyn Decker, here, enjoying Homer Bailey on top right now, 4-0. Guys, back to you.
How about that? Homer hanging with the big wigs. Andy Roddick. Best American players we've seen, certainly in a while. Back in the day, Americans used to dominate the international tennis scene. Paul Janisch with the 2-2 count. Rips it foul. If you're just joining us, the Reds have raced out to a 4-0 lead. 2 home runs in the first. Votto and Cairo. Frazier went yard in the second. It's the 3rd game in Tim Stauffer's career that he's given up 3 home runs. And Chris, his 2nd in a row.
Yeah, for a guy that has been stingy with home runs until he got onto this road trip. He'd only given up 8 home runs all year long before coming out east. Gave up 3 at Citi Field in New York and has been banged around here for 3 of them.
Two pitch. Fouled again. Sports fans, this Sunday following Reds Live postgame, stay tuned to Fox Sports Ohio and catch all the action from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival, featuring the Timken Grand Parade from Canton, Ohio. 9th pitch of this at-bat, and Janisch pops it up. Who wants it? Hudson grabs it for the first out of the 3rd. And in steps Joey Votto. His 19th home run of the season. He belted in the first. Chris, if you're a pitcher who just hit a home run off of you, you certainly change your approach in this one.
Well, the thing about it is that the pitch that Joey Votto hit was not all that bad of a pitch. Neither was the one that Todd Frazier hit. Now, Cairo hit one that he hung up there over the pretty hot part of the hitting zone. But Votto went right down to get a low inside changeup, and it really wasn't all that bad of a location. But you're not going to go right back down there again. So the answer is, yeah, you're going to change it up a little bit, probably go after him with high heat. The problem with Stauffer, you know, watching Matt Latos last night, is that they are completely different styles of pitchers. Latos over the top, hard, 95, 96 miles an hour. He just went right after these Reds with the hard stuff. And Stauffer has to be more of a guy that commands the ends of the strike zone, changes speeds, throws a couple of sliders and change-ups.
There's a drive over the glove of Hudson into right field for a base hit. Let's be honest, is there any good way to pitch to Joey Votto?
Well, yeah, if you have overpowering stuff, you can come right upstairs on him. But if you lack a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, you've got to figure out a way to change it to him almost on an at-bat to at-bat delivery. I mean, he's just so good. But when he's locked in, he's like any great hitter, like Albert Pujols or anybody else in that class. When he's locked in, you just hope he hits it at somebody.
Jay Bruce walked in the first, scored on Miguel Cairo's 2-run home run. Tim Stauffer is he knows Cincinnati. He made his major league debut versus the Reds. It was back in '05, and it was here at Great American Ballpark. He got the win, 6 innings, 2 runs. And in that game, first base coach Dave Roberts, a career-tying 4 hits, scored 3 runs. So Stauffer still pitching, and Dave Roberts now manning the first base coaching box. There's Dave Roberts, more big leaguer.
Good player. Fast player.
It's his first season coaching at any level. He was a burner. One and two the count to Jay Bruce. Bruce has been hot. 6 RBI in that 4-game Mets series. 4 RBIs last night. Got another one sitting out there right now. And no, I did not have breakfast with him today.
That's why he's only walked instead of homer.
Don't blame me. It was a chance meeting. I was eating breakfast by myself at that establishment. I'll tell you a little bit about my life. Two-two pitch. Fouled back again. I got a lot of Twitter messages. People telling me that I should stalk him today. Figure out where he's eating. Go hang out with him again. Look at the rainbow out there. Right field. And there's a rainbow. A deep drive, and that bad boy is gone. Home run of the game for Cincinnati. Second home run in as many nights for Jay Bruce.
Man, when he is hot, he is hot.
One of the streakiest players I've ever seen. And there's the rainbow that Jay Bruce hit right into, basically.
A breaking ball just like the one he hit last night, although that was a little better pitch location for Stauffer. Didn't matter. Jay Bruce with plenty of plate coverage. A 6-0 lead for the Reds.
$25 of them now for Jay Bruce. RBI 74 and 75. See what Miguel Cairo can do. He homered in the first. First 4-home run game ever allowed by Tim Stauffer. The Reds came to hit tonight. Cairo with the drive to center field. Maben has room, though. And he gloves it for the second out. Chris's salary is at the end of that rainbow, I believe.
Yeah. Came out just the right time, though. You mentioned the sun was shining out there. Jay Bruce comes up, hits a home run. And the Reds finally have one of these ball games, Jim, where they feel like there is a pot of gold here at the end of it. They keep playing like this. Been a long time since we've had one that you can kind of sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Drew Stubbs, base hit right field. So Stauffer's getting his pitch count up there. 66 now. And we're only in the third.
Yeah, that's the operative word right there, that he's only in the third inning. I mean, no action really of any sort in the Padre bullpen.
See someone down there stretching him out a little bit. Todd Frazier, home run number 4 in the second inning. Steps in. 2 outs and a man aboard. One-0 pitch. This ball 2. Tomorrow, I'd like to invite fans out to Great American Ballpark. It's Equipment Day. Bring new or slightly used baseball or softball equipment, and they will be donated to the youth of Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky. And in exchange, you can get a mezzanine level ticket for the September 12th game against the Cubs. We can be collecting those on Crosley Terrace beginning at about 11:40 a.m. till the end of the game. And that is a good thing the Reds do, as Frazier looks at ball 4. So Stauffer continuing to have trouble here in the third. I mean, let's face it. Some people just can't afford to play certain sports. Can't afford a glove, a bat, baseball. So, in exchange for a ticket, bring in a new or slightly used piece of baseball or softball equipment. The Reds will take care of someone in need. Pitching coach Darren Balsley made a trip to the mound trying to settle Stauffer down as Ryan Hannigan steps in. 2 on, 2 outs. First pitch misses. Hannigan grounded out to the pitcher in the second. Misses again. Stauffer looks, is he having words with his catcher or the umpire?
Well, it's got to be a frustrating night for Tim Stauffer. It seems like everything that he throws, whether it's a good pitch or a bad pitch, is being hit pretty hard.
C.B. Buckner did take off his helmet and was piercing out at Tim Stauffer. And C.B. Buckner has not been immune to certain confrontations in the past. Two-0 pitch. Foul back. With a drive. Deep left field. Gone! Reds have broken out the whooping sticks.
Souvenir baseball night at Great American Ballpark. Everybody in the outfield gets one. This time off the bat of Ryan Hannigan picks off a high fastball. And Tim Stauffer has given up 5 of them. And still, remarkably, nobody up in the Padre bullpen. I'm not sure what Tim Stauffer did to anger his manager, but man, oh man. You're leaving one of your best starters out there for 9 runs in 3 innings.
This crowd is buzzing right now. And you're right, no one up working. Finally someone gets up. It's the second time this year the Reds have hit 5 home runs in a game. Did it on June 25th versus Baltimore. Anthony Bass, the righty, finally gets up in the Padre pen. Two-two pitch. Bailey dribbles one. Stauffer, easy play, but not before the Reds do more damage. 2 more home runs. Jay Bruce, Ryan Hannigan, 9-0 Reds.
By JTM Food Group, proudly serving America's restaurants, schools, retailers, and our military around the world. JTM Food Group. By your Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky Toyota dealers. For a dealer near you, visit buyatoyota.com. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
If you're just joining us, you've missed 5 home runs off the bat of your Cincinnati Reds. 3 in the first. And home runs by ballpark. Reds in Great American Ballpark creeping up on Rangers Ballpark in Camden Yards. 155 home runs now hit in this game, and Tim Stauffer has been the victim tonight.
He's got the medical bag open next to him. I'm not so sure there's enough aspirin in there to cure the headache he's going to have when he takes a look at his earned run average.
It's like he's struggling. Kyle Blanks leads it off here in the 4th for the Padres. So as I started to say, 3 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 5 in the third for Cincinnati. And Homer Bailey, I'd say, has a pretty good cushion.
Well, at this point as a pitcher, you don't look at it as if you have a 9-run lead. You want to convince yourself that it's a close ball game so that you keep that competitive edge. Last thing you want to do is just start chucking up fastballs right down the middle, and all of a sudden they score 2-3 runs, and yeah, you may end up getting the win, but it may not be the prettiest thing. You want to go out there and finish this game if you possibly can, and finish it very strong.
Padres are the worst hitting team against right-handed pitching in the league. You go across the board of the big offensive stats, and they are the worst team against right-handed pitching.
Well, if you just take a look at what the Rockies brought in here with Tulowitzki and Helton, Carlos Gonzalez, Ty Wigginton. I mean, those guys were just ripping the ball all over the place.
Speaking of ripping the ball, Kyle Blanks rips it, and that one's gone. That was a missile shot. That is the first home run by a Padre off of Homer Bailey this season.
Wearing number 88, like a number of a tight end right there, and he just hits this ball on a line. The only question is it high enough to get out of here?
It barely got over.
Look out. That ball just didn't sink. That was the problem. Homer was hoping that ball would sink enough to hit off the wall.
That's one of those balls, when it flies into the stands, you hear it.
You feel it if you end up on the other end of it.
That was a shot. So the Padres on the board. 9-1 is your score. Third home run of the season for Kyle Blanks, and here's Orlando Hudson. Five home runs by Cincinnati tonight, the most here at home this season. Going to be a tough play here for Bailey, but he makes it with the glove. They've hit 4 twice back in April. But the 5 home runs, the most at home this season. In steps Nick Hundley. Last night, 3 for 3, a home run. They finally got him out in the second inning. And last night, they were talking about hitting for the cycle, because no Padre has ever hit for the cycle. You find that surprising, Chris?
I do.
1969, they came into the league. No Padre has ever hit for the cycle. He came a triple short last night. Shoots one into right field for a base hit here.
It's still remarkable to me anyway that Nick Hundley on his rehab assignment, you know, he gets back from his injury. He goes to A ball. He hits a $175. They move him up to AA. I think he hits in the low 200s there. They bring him to the big leagues, and you can't get him out. Maybe they ought to get up all those pitchers from the Texas League and get them up here in the National League.
He's 4 for 5 in this series. And he's standing at first base with only 1 out for Aaron Cunningham. Bailey bounces out. They want to guard against a letdown here. Team's giving you a 9-run lead. You've given 1 back. Still only in the 4th inning. A lot of baseball to be played. Fourth inning we are in. Top of the fourth. 1 out, 1 aboard. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Two. High. We've gone full. Payoff pitch. Fouled back. Homer Bailey trying to continue what has been some very good starting pitching for Cincinnati of late. Last 4 games, Red starters are 2-1 with a 1.91 ERA. All 4 games, quality starts. Try the 3-2 again. Pop to the right side. This will reach the seats.
But Homer throwing hard tonight, at least by measure of the radar gun. 94, 95 with his fastballs, but the Padres are just getting enough of it to hang in there.
A 7-pitch at bat so far. Bailey versus Cunningham. And now Bailey, his pitch count up to 71. Payoff again.
Good
Strike
catch.
3 call. Third strikeout of the night for Bailey, and a big second out of the inning.
Well, Cunningham was beginning to get kind of pestering in there. Kept fouling off the fastball, and finally Ryan Hannigan says, hey, how about dropping a little curveball in on him right here? Perfect spot. He wasn't ready for that one.
Yaka. Logan Forsythe will step in. He was robbed in the third by a nice play by Todd Frazier at third base. First pitch, a strike. Bailey has certainly slowed the pace down in this inning. 0-1 pitch. Bailey ahead now 0-2. Another good crowd on hand. Saturday night. Kids about ready to go back to school. That is a very good point by producer Christian Roberts. They're not ready, but they're going to go back to school. Kids get robbed these days. They start school very early. Middle of August now.
Well, I think a lot of those snow days have scared so many of the school boards into starting them early just in case.
Not fair.
I agree.
I remember going to school at times after Labor Day.
Oh,
at
yeah.
least right before Labor Day.
Of course, that was, at least for my case, it was before they had air conditioning in schools. So you didn't want to start it in August anyway.
A lot of them are going back this week. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, right field. Bruce has room and gloves it. Blanks with a home run, but the Reds with a big lead. Subs. Find a Penn Station location near the Reds fan zone and behind section 413. Enjoy all the baseball action while eating at Penn Station's signature sub and authentic fresh cut fries. To see your Reds, call 513-381-REDS or visit reds.com. And I have to say, I had those fresh cut fries tonight. Thank you, Penn Station. They took care of us.
Oh, they really did. They were delicious up here. What's our Farmers Insurance report card? Well, Bud Black, the former left-handed pitcher in the American League, mostly with the Kansas City Royals. 5th season as a Padre manager. Last year, the manager of the year beat out Dusty Baker, I believe, by 1 vote. 7 seasons as a pitching coach with the Angels. 15 seasons as a player, Seattle, Kansas City, Toronto, Cleveland, and 1 year the National League with San Francisco.
New pitcher on the hill, and Dave Chappelle greets Anthony Bass with a base hit to center. So Tim Stauffer is done, and the righty Anthony Bass in. Chris?
Well, he's a young man, only 23 years old. He's from Fort Wayne, Michigan. And he's got, from what I understand, a whole bunch of family and friends down here to watch him play. Actually from Dearborn, Michigan, went to Wayne State. Drafted by the Padres and started his year this year in Double-A. Had a little cup of coffee in Triple-A. Then they said, young man, come right on up here to the big leagues.
Trying to hold these Reds down, who have a 9 spot on the board. Dave Chappelle has now hit safely in 5 of his 6 appearances as a Red. Takes his lead from first. Small sample size, Chris, but you like what you see out of Chappelle so far?
Well, I do. I mean, I like his aggressiveness. I like his attitude that he brings to the game. He's got a lot of energy out there. He can run. He's got some good tools. He usually squares up the ball pretty good. But the only thing is that when the book gets around on Dave Chappelle that he is so aggressive that he's going to swing at the first pitch every time, he's going to find himself hitting a lot of breaking balls, a lot of marginal pitches, and he'll be easy outs. And that's not really what you're looking for in a leadoff hitter. I think it's all a learning process for Dave. He's got certainly the talent to be a big leaguer. It's up to him now to prove that he should stay up here.
What a spring training he had.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they had to that was a tough decision to keep him off. The numbers he put up were astronomical.
Well, yeah, you know, and I think what Dusty Baker, he made a really smart observation with Dave Chappelle, because sometimes you can be fooled in the month of March and fooled in the month of September when they have these September call-ups. That not all, you know, you're not always hitting off the, you know, the number 1 pitcher or the number 2 pitcher on the other pitching staff. Sometimes you're hitting off a guy that might be destined to go to Double-A, and he hit a lot of balls hard, and he hit a lot of clutch hits, and he drove in big-time runs and so on. But it's a little different when the game begins for real in April in the major leagues, and they wanted Dave Chappelle to get a little more seasoning in the minors. And when he was healthy, he did a whale of a job for Rick Sweet and the bats down in Louisville.
Hit .313 down there. Giannis with a drive to second. Double play ball here. Easy turn for 6-3. And they're 2 outs. Check out our AT&T trivia question of the night. Since 1974, who are the only 2 players to hit a triple versus the Padres for their 1,000th career hit? Now, obviously, we saw one last night. Miguel Cairo. His 1,000th hit, and it was a triple. One other player since 1974 has done it against the Padres.
I mean, how do you guess a question like that, really?
I'll give you a hint. He's in the stadium tonight. Joey Votto homered in the first, singled, and scored in the third.
Is he wearing a red uniform?
I've given my hint. What do you think this is? So you think you're a Reds fan? This is the big leagues up here.
I don't see your briefcase brimming with any of those magnets or keychains that you promised us. Must have given them all to Jay Bruce.
They line up by the hundreds for the magnet.
I'd have to say it would either be Dusty Baker or Billy Hatcher.
We shall see. Inside to Joey Votto. And Anthony Bass has gone full. There's Hatch. There's Dust. Three-two pitch. Fly ball left field. On the warning track is Cunningham. Or actually, that is a defensive replacement. We'll talk about that when we come back. 9-1 Reds.
And they have a 9-1 lead as we start play here in the fifth. And you know, Miguel Cairo has one of those home runs here tonight. He's continued to play an outstanding second base, but that doesn't mean the Reds wouldn't still like to have the all-star Brandon Phillips back at second base, and that could come as soon as tomorrow afternoon. Phillips did some work on the infield here this afternoon pregame. He also took batting practice, and Dusty Baker said he'll probably continue to be sore for a little while. He's missed 4 straight starts with a bruised left elbow, but he'll probably be back in the lineup here tomorrow afternoon against the Padres. And we'll be back here tonight after this game for Reds Live, the post-game version. Guys, we'll see you then.
Brian, thank you very much. And Brandon Phillips, always a smile on his face. And they like to mess with Billy Hatch.
They do, and there's something going on down there now, Hatch and Brandon.
Yeah, he sprinted up to him like there's something going on.
He doesn't want Hatch to be alone over there, standing in the stairway in the dugout.
As we said going to break, James Darnell is now into the game for the Padres, and he is batting in the pitcher spot, the rookie. As Stauffer's night ended shortly. 3 innings pitched, 9 earned runs. James Darnell called up on Monday. Got his first big league hit on Wednesday. A hard single to left. Plays third base and left field. Talking to Brandon Phillips, he says he's bored to death in the dugout.
Don't doubt it.
He loves to play every day. Dusty said they cleared him to play today, but it's always Dusty's philosophy that when the trainers tell him a guy's ready, he always gives them an extra day. What he did say is Darnell goes down on strikes. 4th strikeout of the night for Bailey. He did say that he could pinch hit tonight if need be. course, he pinch ran last night. Dusty Baker has sent him in to be a pinch runner 5 times, and 5 times he has scored.
Now that is a stat. Where did you come up with that?
Dusty. Brandon out with that left arm contusion after getting beamed in that Mets series. Didn't want to take a cortisone shot. Said if I need a shot to play, then that means I probably shouldn't be playing. I don't know if that's his philosophy or he doesn't like needles. Because there's a whole lot of people that don't like needles.
Well, there's a whole lot of cortisone being delivered to players around professional sports.
And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad. It does make you feel better. Have you ever had one?
Oh, sure.
I had one in my elbow. And I want to tell you, that hurt. Bouncer to Votto. Over to Bailey. Bailey just beats Venable to the bag.
Tell you one thing about these Padres, even though they're down 9-1, they're still hustling very hard. Venable nearly beats out this little ground ball to first base.
We saw last night in the first inning where Bronson Arroyo, an ill-timed play between Votto and Bailey. And that one was nearly the same.
Well, last night, Joey Votto didn't get Bronson Arroyo the ball early enough. That time he got it there very quickly, but with Venable running, Bailey had to bust it as hard as he could just to get over there in time. You know, they used to tell pitchers, okay, now try to get the angle, run to the line and then run up the line. But Bronson actually had to slow down, and he's waiting for the ball from Joey Votto, saying, come on. But the ball was so slowly hit, there really wasn't much Votto could do about it. It was just one of those timing plays where the ball was hit slowly. Votto was playing back. He couldn't charge it enough because then he had to throw behind him, and infield hit. Fortunately, Arroyo was able to stay in the ballgame.
There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Jason Bartlett. Talked to Bronson about it today, and I asked him, did you take a bad path to the bag, or did the ball not get there in time? And he said it was a combination of both, and that perhaps Votto could have delivered it a little more oomph on it. But once you get past the bag, you're in no man's land.
Well, once the fielder also charges too much, that's why Votto didn't charge that ball more, because he'd have to almost throw behind Arroyo to get the ball to. I mean, sometimes you just hit the ball in no man's land and it's a base hit.
And by the way, it's an Achilles injury.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Arroyo. Yes. It looked like he hyperextended his leg, and it was his left knee, but it's his Achilles. But he said that it actually felt better today than he expected, and that it's going to hurt him for a while because that's the nature of an Achilles tendon injury, but it's nothing that's going to hold him back. Now, I'm not a doctor, but he said that less blood flow gets to the Achilles than other parts of the body, and it heals slower.
Sounds reasonable. You're not a doctor, but you can play one on TV, so go right ahead.
Dr. Day.
Dr. Day. That's kind of an ominous sound, actually.
It is. I can't imagine someone walking into the doctor's office and seeing me. Walk in there sick and leave more sick.
Socialized medicine there.
One and two the count to Cameron Maben. I hope that doesn't stick, Dr. Day. Please no. 1-2 the count to Cameron Maben. Maben 1 for 2 on the night. Man at first. Swing and a miss. And Bailey has 5 big ins on the night. And the Reds have a big lead. Purchase a ticket in the Reach Magazine family section and a Kroger meal deal for only $15, regularly priced at $31. For tickets for the Reach Magazine family section, visit reds.com/family or call 513-381-REDS today. Here's Jay Bruce to lead off the 5th. Home run in the 3rd, his 25th, which matches his career high for home runs in a season. And we often forget, and he has been much maligned at times, base hit center field. Jay Bruce been much maligned for the streaks that he does go through and the downward streaks that he goes through. But we fail to remember that he is only 24 years old. And amongst active players under 25 years old, his 93 home runs are 10 more than his nearest competitor. 93 career home runs, 10 better than Justin Upton, Mike Stanton, Andrew McCutchen, Gordon Beckham on that list. And he is in elite company as far as home run leaders through the first 4 seasons of their career. 93 of them now, 2008 to 2011. That's 3 better than Votto did from 07 to 2010 with 90. And only Frank Robinson and Adam Dunn have hit more home runs through their first 4 seasons in a Reds uniform. He's even better than Johnny Bench in that category. Cairo with another deep drive to left and his 2nd home run of the game. Mercy, have the Reds come to hit.
Man, oh man, you're right about that. There was no doubt about it. As soon as this ball left the bat, you know it's headed for the seats. 2 of them on the night from Miguel Cairo.
First multi-home run game of his career. And the Reds now have 6 home runs in the game. Run lead. As one Hall of Fame broadcaster would say, and he might be watching at home, how we looking? Good. Here's Drew Stubbs. 1 for 2 on the night, singled and scored in the 3rd. Swing and a miss, and he goes down on strikes. Sunday at 6:30 on Fox Sports Ohio, join Tom Brokaw for Boys in the Hall, the personal stories of baseball's greatest legends. This week it's Yogi Berra. Boys in the Hall Sunday, presented by Subway, where winners eat. You know what? I can't wait to see that, actually. Anything on Yogi Berra as Frazier fouls it behind home plate out of play.
Really a great series.
It really is. I mean, you got a big leaguer like Tom Brokaw hosting it. They want me to give you a Tom Brokaw. I really don't have one.
You don't?
Tonight. Can't really do it.
That's not too bad, though. A little practice in front of the mirror like a third base coach, you'll be right there.
But that's a big league series. That's good stuff. And anything about Yogi Berra is always comical.
Got a favorite Yogi Berra saying?
Too many to list. I know you have.
I like the one I heard the other day again. It was a nickel ain't worth a dime anymore.
We need a list of Yogi-isms. You got your computer. Let's dial that bad boy up. It's late early here.
Yeah.
Like that commercial we did. You can get some cash, which is just as good as money. Something to that effect.
When his wife called him and said, I'm taking the kids to go see Dr. Zhivago. And he said, now what's wrong with him?
Oh.
And it goes on and on.
Frazier, a shot to left. Darnell gloves it. He asked Ernest Hemingway which paper he wrote for. And of course, the two most famous probably. It ain't over till it's over. And probably my favorite, Deja Vu all over again. Ryan Hannigan. He got in on the home run parade in the 3rd. His 4th of the season. It was a 3-run job. Anthony Bass, his 2nd inning of work on the mound for San Diego. Fly ball right field. Venable has it. And the Reds are out in the 5th, but not before Miguel Cairo. His 2nd home run of the night. And an 11 spot on the board for the Redlegs. a $2,000 shopping spree thanks to Furniture Fair. We're at Great American Ballpark. We're on to the 6th inning here in the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio. It is my pleasure and privilege to be sitting alongside Chris Welsh tonight calling the game. Jeff Picoro downstairs along with Brian Giesenslaw. So happy you could join us here on this Saturday night. Homer Bailey enters his 6th inning of work, Chris, and so far, so good.
Yeah, really, he's only made one bad pitch that it was jumped on, and that was a home run by the batter that he's facing right now, Kyle Blanks.
Blanks with that missile shot in the 4th. The only run for San Diego. In there for a strike. Come for the Reds, stay for more fun. Make it a weekend and book your discount hotel package at CincinnatiUSA.com. And I love me some CincinnatiUSA.com. Bailey backhander. Got him. In steps Orlando Hudson. And Chris, you were talking about Dave Roberts earlier.
Yeah.
And he was an integral part, not only the Padres, he had a pretty good career.
Well, he had a great career, but I think he's probably most famous for being an integral part in lifting the curse of the Bambino. In the 2004 ACLS against the New York Yankees, they were 1 out away from elimination. And he was placed in as a pinch hitter, or pinch runner, that is, with Mariano Rivera on the mound. And he ended up stealing second base in a very dramatic stolen base. And it was a game that was watched. I think the ratings on that television game were just astronomical. But it was a cat and mouse game with Mariano Rivera and Roberts back and forth. He finally stole second base. The Red Sox came back to win that ball game. And then they won 7 straight, including against the Cardinals, to win the 2004 World Series. A lot of people think that that may be the most famous stolen base in, at least in postseason history.
Did they break that curse? I would never have known, talking to our producer, Christian Roberts.
Well, they're on their way again this year, they think. Anyway, I know Christian Roberts sometimes has a skewed view of the world of baseball.
Sox. Strike 3 call. And Bailey rings up his 6th.
He's rolling right now. Bailey has struck out 6. He's hitting the ball, or throwing the ball really right where he wants to. And Orlando Hudson thinks that may have been a little bit off the block. But hey, 11-1 ball game. You better be up there swinging the bat.
Next pitch will be number 100 for Bailey. Do you find that umpires in a blowout game such as this will have a more liberal strike zone?
You know, they're not supposed to, and they'll never admit to that. But, you know, you be your own judge in what you see. And I think they're human beings like everybody else. And it's almost like, hey, 10-run lead, get up there and swing the bat. And that probably goes for both teams. I mean, they don't want a 4-hour game any more than anybody else does, except the concessionaires.
Very good point. I'll take a 4-hour game. It's more time with you.
Save it for Jay Bruce, will you?
Oh. Tough crowd up here. Tough crowd. Nick Hundley, 4 for 5 in this series so far. He's up there with 2 outs. And a 1-2 count. One-two pitch. Just got a piece of it. And got a piece of C.B. Buckner, I think, right on the shoulder.
Second night in a row here at the Great American Ballpark. Good crowd. Good crowd last night for the fireworks. The Reds' third consecutive win in a row. Looking at putting number 4 up tonight. Another big crowd here on a Saturday night. This was a giveaway night, right?
Swing and a miss.
Talk about that when we come back.
Well, the Padres are giving away home runs, and the Reds lead 11-1. And 6 long balls for the Reds. Votto, solo shot in the first. Cairo, 2-run job in the first. Frazier, solo shot in the second. Jay Bruce, 2-run shot in the third. A 3-run Johnson by Hannigan later in the third. And Cairo's second of the game in the fifth. The Reds have an 11-1 lead. That was the Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. New second baseman for the Padres, Alberto Gonzalez. And a new pitcher on the mound for San Diego. It's right-hander Eric Hamren. Yet to record a record, 6.75 ERA. Giving up 1 home run on the season, and opponents hitting .222. So Hamren follows Stauffer and Anthony Bass. Stauffer gave up 9 earned runs. Bass gave up a 2-run home run in the 5th to Cairo's home run. And there you have your 11 runs. Homer Bailey, who's given up only 1 run tonight, steps in to lead off the 6th for Cincinnati. Off-speed breaking ball in there for a strike.
Well, I guess if you're a young pitcher, in the Padres organization is where you want to be right now. They are calling kids up from all over the place. This young man started in the California League this year. That was A ball, then went to Double-A, and then the Padres have called him up here just in his 4th ball game now. Originally, he signed with the Cubs, did Eric Hamren in 2008, then pitched a couple of years for them. The Cubs released him. So he went out and played a year in independent ball, did not give up the dream of pitching in the major leagues. Padres signed him. And here he is from A-ball to the big leagues in one season.
Dave Chappelle 1 for 3 on the night, single back in the fourth, excuse me. Padres ownership and management has pledged to their fans, we will rebuild the minor league system. Chappelle sends one to right field. Venable back near the track and gloves it for the second out of the inning. All right, Chris, let's find out the answer to our AT&T trivia question of the night. Miguel Cairo, his 1,000th hit last night was a triple. Only 2 players since '74 have done it against the Padres, and you were correct. The first answer out of your mouth was Dusty Baker. September 30th, 1978, his 1,000th hit as a player, and it was a triple.
Well, I'll tell you how I got to that answer. It was just a process of elimination. Dusty Baker, of course, played a long time with the Braves and then the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they were all in the National League West, along with the Pods. So he had a lot of games to do that against the Padres.
So Cairo and Baker sharing some history. Paul Giannis seeking his first hit of the night. Ground ball third. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Hamren. The Reds have a 10-run lead.
Cincinnati Children's ranks 3rd in the nation on U.S. News and World Report's honor roll for Best Children's Hospitals 2011. By your Cincinnati Northern Kentucky Honda dealers. Visit mycincinnatihondadealer.com for current offers. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real.
Check out our Honda standings in National League Central. And Milwaukee, in a pitcher's duel, wins 1-0 today. Colorado leading St. Louis. That one in the 7th. So the Brewers continue their mastery at home. They are now 43-15 at Miller Park. That is unreal. And right now, barring that outcome in St. Louis, a 4.5 game cushion over the Cardinals. 43-15 at home. Mercy. Alberto Gonzalez into the game and sends one into right center field. Bruce chasing after it and makes a basket catch. Pretty play.
Well, we've seen what Jay Bruce has done the last couple of nights with the bat. Here he does a little basket catch going into the gap. Makes it look easy.
With a 10-run lead, good time to rest the MVP, and a good time to get Yonder Alonso some time at first base, as Yonder Alonso is now in the game playing first base.
I'm kind of anxious to see him play third base myself.
I am as well. We talked about him yesterday. Worked out before the game with Scott Rowland. Logan Forsythe swings and misses. Went through a whole session with Scott Rowland and infield coach Chris Spire. You want to talk about some elite company of working with him at third base. He works out in the offseason with Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, down in Miami.
And when he does work out with him, they always take ground balls over third.
A-Rod began his rehab in the minors yesterday. Hit a home run his first at bat. So Alonso certainly played a lot more first than any other position. But we've seen him in left field, and at least for now, as the current third baseman, Todd Frazier. Long throw and barely gets Forsythe. We've seen Yonder in left field, and at least for now, the Reds say you're probably not going to see him out there. It's an emergency situation.
I still think that's kind of unfair. I know that Yonder Alonso may not be the next coming of a Gold Glove left fielder, but I've seen Wrigley Field turn a lot of good outfielders into clowns. Just by the way the wind is, the way the ball comes off the bat, the white shirts in the background, and he's not the first guy to misplay balls out there. But I think if you ask him, he feels much more comfortable in the infield than the outfield anyway.
It's a bad luck out there, too. He twisted his ankle, hit the sprinkler out there in Wrigley on one of those misplayed balls. Again, as we said last night, Dusty was asked before the game yesterday, could we see Alonso go back down to Louisville and start some games at third? Because you hate to audition a guy at third base at this level. Throw him out there mid-season at third base, although he's played it. And he says, give me the shot. I want to be put out there. What's your philosophy on that?
Well, I'm a little surprised that the Reds haven't tried him at third base previously. But, you know, you've had a number of third basemen at the AAA level. Juan Francisco, Todd Frazier, and now you're looking at Yonder Alonso. So it's not like, you know, there have been a lot of no vacancy signs put up there in the minor leagues at the upper levels, and maybe that's one reason why Alonso's not played over there. But I mean, if the guy's played there before, and if you hit him some ground balls and he looks good over there, and he gets the okay from Chris Spire, give him a shot. I mean, if he makes the plays of the routine plays and he hits like he can hit or should be able to hit, then he might be a guy that you'll take a look at.
He's unfortunately involved in a logjam at both positions. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but we've seen Juan Francisco up here. They're high on his bat. It's a left-handed bat at third base. You've got Todd Frazier, who's played there.
And from what I've talked to people who are down in Louisville, or at least watch that Louisville team, to say that Juan Francisco is playing his best baseball right now
that they've ever seen him play. And obviously you have Scott Rowland still there under contract next season. Right. Grounder to Cairo. A 1-2-3 7th for Homer Bailey as the Texan cruises on, as the Reds are cruising on Fox Sports Ohio. they battle the Washington Nationals. Stick around after the game for a spectacular Brandon Phillips Fireworks Jam featuring a soundtrack of Brandon's favorite summer songs, presented by your Cincinnati area Shell dealers. Tickets, call 513-381-REDS or reds.com. Chris, it looks like Homer Bailey's night is done.
Well, he's pitching. He hit the pitch count limit anyway, but 7 innings overall for Homer Bailey. An outstanding outing. A nice rebound from his last outing where he got beat around a little bit in a rain-swollen day by the Colorado Rockies, and comes right back and looks like he's going to be putting a W on the board. So good job for Homer Bailey. I'll tell you what, the kid works very hard between starts. I see him out there even the day after his starts playing long toss, working hard, running. And that work paid off this time around.
Sure did. New center fielder, rookie Blake Ticotti takes over at center field. And the aforementioned Yonder Alonso at the plate.
Ticotti played center field for the Miami Hurricanes when Yonder Alonso was there. Got to talk to both of those guys about their teammates tonight. He had all sorts of praises about Yonder's hitting, and Yonder had all sorts of praises about Ticotti's center field play.
You know, just short sample size again. Alonso came up in September last year. And he's been up a bit here now. But he just looks the part that he gets it at the plate. His approach has to impress you.
Well, I think what I like about Yonder Alonso most is that he looks like he's got stage presence at the plate, which means from a pitcher standpoint, he's a threat. That if you make a mistake, he's going to not only knock it out of the ballpark, but he's going to hit a pretty decent pitch the other way. And he even had a good swing right there. Goes down swinging, but he had a good cut at it. He's got a lot to learn, obviously, about Major League Baseball, but he's a good-looking prospect, no doubt.
And like anyone else, the scouting report will catch up to him. He goes down swinging here as Eric Hamren continues his second inning of work. And Jay Bruce steps in. Walked in the first, scored. Home run number 25, a 2-run shot in the third. Singled and scored in the fifth. So working on another good night. Battery mates talking it over. Homer Bailey. Just 3 innings pitched last time out, as we said. But as we've seen earlier this season, able to rebound.
I'll tell you, when you get knocked around like Homer Bailey did his last time out after 3 innings, those 4 days that you wait until your turn comes around again just seem like an eternity. You just can't wait to get back out there and prove yourself. As a hitter, if you go 0 for 4, make 4 errors in a ball game, you're back out there the next night. But as a starting pitcher, you have to wait nearly a week.
2-2 the count to Jay Bruce. We've not only seen the maturity of Homer on the mound, but we've seen it off the field as well. Early on in his career, at least in interviews, at least when he speaks publicly, I don't know him that well personally.
Well, I think he gets it. I mean, I think he realizes now that, I mean, when you're a #1 prospect and a #1 draftee, sometimes you believe your own press clippings. And then you find out as you go up the minor league ladder that the pool of talent gets better and better and better. And all of a sudden you get to AAA in the major leagues, and everybody up here, or it seems to be anyway, was a #1 draft pick. Or everybody was the best kid in their county or city or state.
One falls foul.
And that's a real eye-opener for a kid that may have not been traveled around a whole lot. And I think that a little bit at a time you realize, you know, I got to eat some humble pie along the way, maybe keep my lips closed, my ears open. And he's done a great job doing that. I mean, he has matured big time from the time that we first saw him, Jim Day. And that's one reason why I think he's really turned the corner this year as far as being a pitcher.
Well, I know the answers I got early in his career are in stark contrast to the answers I get now. And the questions you can even ask him. Because before, there were times you just get a derogatory answer right back. You'd get some attitude right back. And he wouldn't eat that humble pie. Now, kind of calls it as it is. Strike 3 call. And Hamron has his second strikeout of the inning and his third in 2 innings.
Well, Jay Bruce does believe your theory of a big run margin and a wider strike zone. Our Fox Tracks has that one outside, and CB Buckner says,
Even when you're up 10 runs. I guess the philosophy is swing the bat. So here's Miguel Cairo, his first multi-home run game of his career. We've had a rainbow tonight, and now we got an ominous full moon hovering above Great American Ballpark. Nice shot.
You know, if you look very closely, you can see a couple of baseballs up there. They were hit off of me back in the 80s.
In a Padre uniform.
Oh, yeah.
Moonshots.
Beautiful moon tonight. What a great night for baseball here. It's been a great weekend weather-wise. They had called for a little precipitation today. We had none here at Great American Ballpark.
It stayed south. It was sunny and hot during the day, and then it clouded up, and then you could feel the temperature dropping as if the rain was going to move in. And I know down there in down Louisville way in Reds country that you got some rain down that way, but it stayed south. Although there's some rain out to the northwest of Cincinnati right now. It looks like it's a bit away. Looks like it's heading right at the great town of Columbus. Come on with it, Z-Bus.
That's your hometown, right?
It is. One of my favorite things as a kid was driving down 71 South. And Riverfront Stadium was so majestic when it first opened. And you come out of that tunnel on 71 South as Cairo swings and misses to go down, and you'd see that Riverfront Stadium, and as a kid, nothing better. Nothing better than an 11-1 lead. this game, including Miguel Cairo. 2 home runs in this game. And now 7 home runs is Cairo's career high. Your Coors Light cold hard blast. 10-run cushion for Cairo and the Reds. And Homer Bailey's night is done, and on comes Jose Arredondo.
Well, Arredondo has been out here 32 times now, and Dusty Baker's going to get him a little bit of extra work because he hasn't been out since the 8th of August. So he's had a few days off to try to rest that arm up, sporting a 341 earned run average. Need a lot of strikes at this point in the ballgame.
He'll face the top of the order in Will Venable. 1 for 2 on the night, single and a walk. 266 hitter on the season. Fly ball center field. Easy play for Stubbs and 1 out. Reds fans, the 100 Days of Summer sweepstakes means 100 days of great prizes. Text SUMMER to 37664 right now to be entered for all remaining giveaways, including today's prize, a home improvement gift card and a car safety kit. It's easy to enter. Just text SUMMER to 37664. Message and data rates apply. Jason Bartlett. 1 hit on the night. Did you catch Carlos Zambrano's act last night?
Well, I didn't see the video of it, but I read all about it, that he essentially packed his stuff out of his locker, including his nameplate off the top of his locker. After the ball game where the Cubs were playing, and by the time the media was let into the locker room, he was gone, everything was gone, and he essentially quit, said he was going to retire.
He gave up 5 home runs to the Braves, 2 to Dan Uggla, and it was as if he wanted out of the game. He threw twice at Chipper Jones. The second one, the umpire just ran him, ejected him,
and that's
as if he just wanted out. I'm done.
And the Braves emptied their bench.
Yes.
Meanwhile, he was, instead of staying there to kind of confront them, he just walked off the field, didn't he? Yeah. So now he's on the restricted list.
Arredondo strikes out Bartlett. Second out of the inning. Yeah, he's on the restricted list, which means he can't be with the club for 30 days without pay, which he shouldn't get pay if he walked out. And his manager threw him under the bus, say he quit on 24 guys.
Well, doesn't he
quit
have
on us?
Doesn't he have another year of pay at about 18 mil?
How do you walk away from that?
He's got a lot in the bank.
$18 million is $18 million.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't either, but still, if you have $100 million in the bank, $18 million is some coin to play baseball.
I think the Cubs are sitting back saying, hey, we like this.
You know what? The accountants might be saying,
like the Bengals aren't in the same situation with Carson Palmer.
Go on home, big boy. If a guy doesn't want to be there, go on home. Blake Ticotti. Arredondo ahead of him, 1-2. Down low. Of course, Zambrano has not had a lack of incidents in his career. Swing and a miss, and Arredondo a 1-2-3 inning, including final 2 outs, the strikeout variety. Jay Bruce can cover some ground. And a basket catch. Easily done. He can hit, he can catch, he can throw. He's your all-around player. And he's your John Morrell hot dog play of the game. Red set to bat in the 8th against a new pitcher, Chris, a lefty. Joe
Thatcher. Been around a while. Thatcher has. He's joined by one other left-hander down the bullpen now. We saw him last night, Josh Spence, who gave up that 3-run bomb, and Thatcher is greeted rather rudely.
Stubbs is going to find second base with a leadoff double. So the leadoff man on. He's trying to pad the 11-1 lead. Reds continue to get good starting pitching. Coming in, as we said, the Red starters were 2-1, 1.91 ERA. 4 quality starts will make that 5 quality starts now. As Homer Bailey tonight goes 7 innings, gives up 1 run. Frazier flies out to right. And within those 5 games was Johnny Cueto. It was a 1.94 ERA, leads the National League, and prior to today trailed only Jared Weaver in the major leagues. But Jared Weaver got beat up today. I don't know if you saw it, Chris. Gave up 8 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings, so his ERA is up to 2.13. So Cueto will briefly hold on to the major league ERA lead at 1.94 because the ERA qualifier is basically 1 inning pitched per the team's game. So he'll relinquish the official lead tomorrow after the Reds play their 121st game of the season. And then if he pitches well, he'll requalify. But right now, the 1.94 ERA is the best in the biz. And I have been so impressed with Johnny Cueto in the way that he works. Not only throwing on the side, but Dusty Baker has him convinced that it is all about the legs. Dusty challenged him a couple years back to run. And I see him running the steps every day, Chris. I mean, every day. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees or it's 50 degrees. He is running the steps. And it is shown. Dusty credits that for him being strong in the games. Late in the games, he's still bringing it 95, 96.
Well, I think certainly conditioning is a lot of it. And I think the talk that Dusty Baker has with a lot of his players, sometimes it sinks in and sometimes it doesn't. With Johnny Cueto, it obviously did. You know, but Cueto, even if you're strong and in condition, doesn't mean you can pitch well in the major leagues. And he's really taken it upon himself to be his own pitching coach. Yeah, Brian Price has helped him a lot, but you're your own guy on the mound. And, you know, what we've seen him do this year in kind of transforming his delivery from a normal kind of a textbook kind of a delivery, lift your leg and go to the plate, to a twisty, rotated type of a Louis Tiant delivery, has really made a difference for him. He hides the ball better. He's over the rubber longer. He uses his legs much better than he did in the past. He doesn't fly open like he used to, and he's a world of a different pitcher. And now he can lay claim to being one of the best right-handers in the league.
Dusty says he got it from the guys he played with in L.A. He said every time he would come to the park as a Dodger, pitchers like Don Sutton, Tommy John, who else they have back there? Welch. Every time he came to the park as a hitter, those guys were just getting done running, and they ran every day.
Well, that was the credo of pitching forever and ever and ever. But sometimes it takes a guy to say it in the right manner for it to finally sink in. I mean, the Dodgers didn't invent running for conditioning.
Right. But I don't see all these pitchers running.
Oh, they run all the time.
I see him running a little bit in the outfield. I don't see him running like Johnny Cueto.
Well, I don't see him running like they used to. I really think that carrying your own body weight as running is the way to go, because it builds confidence, it builds balance, and it builds your strength and conditioning. A lot of guys nowadays, you know, they go to the stationary bike, or they run on a treadmill, or they do some other kind of cardio.
Well, that's true. I'm not underneath to see the workout rim. That's a very good point.
Yeah, I mean, I think these athletes now on these teams are more and better conditioned than any in history. I mean, we never had, I mean, I'm talking about 25 years ago, you know, a coach on the ball club whose sole responsibility was to make sure that, you know, they ate well and they worked out. I mean, you've got a guy here that does that. And you have a nutritionist. You have a weightlifting coach. You have all these things that have just kind of made baseball more and more sport specific, I guess. But overall, it comes down to running and adapting what you do off the field into the game, and that's where Johnny Cueto has done so well this year. I think it's like a prize fighter that smells the end of the bout. That's the way Johnny Cueto is. All of a sudden, he gets a little success and says, man, I love it.
Deep drive to left field, the 7th home run of the game for the Cincinnati Reds. 2nd of the game for Ryan Hanigan. And it's 13-1.
The people that came out to Great American Ballpark tonight, and be like the long ball, they have been treated big time.
Hope they save some for tomorrow.
That's what Dontrell Willis is saying.
2nd career multi-home run game for Ryan Hanigan. Fred Lewis into the game to pinch hit. 7 home runs hit tonight matches home runs hit in a game by the Reds at Great American Ballpark. It was done twice in 2008. So you're right, these fans that have come out here, 31,374 strong, have seen the long ball. 7 biggins. Wow. The smokestacks are getting a workout. Hopefully they have enough fireworks.
Yeah, they picked up the red phone to the Rossi brothers.
Lewis goes down swinging.
We need a reload.
Sounded like Sean Casey there for a minute.
We'll be hearing a little Sean Casey coming up
in the Berg.
Later on the week. The Reds, of course, leave here after Sunday. It was an off day on Monday. That's a travel day to Washington. Then Reds will play Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then the weekend in Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Tommy, I got a 5-way last night. Dominated it.
You are right on it. Can you hit like Case, too?
Kidding me? No way. Case could hit right now.
No doubt about that.
He would rake. He'd get 2 hits. Go 2 for 4. Drive 1 into the gap.
Man, are you right on that? Do you practice that in front of the mirror? Seriously?
No.
In the shower?
Hey, George, I into that promo. I dominated right there. I play with that guy. Great guy.
I love me some Sean Casey. There's never been a better guy to put on.
He is the best.
I'm telling you, he almost separated my shoulder the first day I saw him this year. He high-fived me so hard. I mean,
He's right.
he was one of those guys that when someone would hit a home run, they'd have that celebration after a walk-off.
And they'd run away from him.
He'd run away from him. He'd beat guys up. Barry Larkin talked about he almost gave him a concussion one night. He's part of the reason they take off their helmet, because he would beat them so hard on the helmet that it would almost give him a concussion. He hit me so hard. What's up, brother? Bam! About took off my shoulder.
We could not have done a better promo
for the game.
The series coming up than what you just did. Way to go.
To the count to Dave Chappelle.
Could you tell those two shots right there, one of Dusty Baker, one of Bud Black, which team is winning?
No question about it. Ground ball up the middle, and Chappelle has his second hit of the night.
Ground balls, a fly ball, and two base hits right back through the box for Dave Chappelle tonight.
He's a good-looking hitter. And the Reds sorely need a leadoff guy. If he could refine his game, like you said, take some more pitches, a little less aggressive.
Well, the big thing is he's got a chance. I mean, right now it's up to Dave Chappelle.
Giannis steps in. Chappelle, he can play center field as well. In fact, he made 59 starts in center field at Louisville, just 13 in left field. So he played more center down there. Hit .313 for the Bats, 29 RBIs. Nearly hit Paul Youngs. Giannis is one of the few Reds to get in on the hit parade tonight. 0 for 3. Make that 0 for 4. Ground ball to third. And the third out of the inning. But another home run for the Reds. A 2-run shot by Hannigan and a 13-1 lead. And 7 choices for this one, but we've selected 2. And they're 2 off the bat of Ryan Hannigan. A 3-run home run in the third. A 2-run home run in the 8th. 5 RBIs tonight for the Reds catcher. And a 13-1 Cincinnati lead. Watch every Reds game live or on demand. If you're hitting the road, take the Reds with you. Subscribe to MLB.com TV to see every Reds game, live or on demand on your computer or your favorite devices. Visit Reds.com to order and get more details. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere. Travis Wood. We have a Travis Wood spotting. Hot shot to third base. Frazier knocks it down and can't get the runner at first base. Blanks beats it out.
Ball hit very hard by Kyle Blanks. This ball just eats up Todd Frazier, but he knocks it down and he tried to recover it in time. Blanks actually shows some speed for a guy that is like the size of an NFL lineman. Right through the bag for probably an infield hit.
They do rule that a hit, because that was a shot. Dave Sabell, we talked about him playing center in Louisville. Well, he's playing center right now. And Fred Lewis stays into the game. He's in left.
Well, Travis, you know, started the major leagues with the Reds earlier in the year. Made 16 starts for the Reds. 5-5 record. 10 of those starts was quality starts. He had sent down in the minor leagues when his earned run average went up over 5. And went down and started. Did a pretty decent job for the Bats in 8 starts.
Well, not a good start to the 9th inning. Rob Johnson was into the game to hit there, and he's hit by the pitch. So an infield single and a hit batsman. And the first 2 are on board here in the 9th. Travis Wood was brought here to be the long man. Talking to Dusty before the game, he said, when you know it, we bring him here to be the long man. It's a good thing, but the starters have been giving me innings, and I haven't been able to get him out there. There's a long time between pitching.
Well, that's the life of a long man. You know, you really never know when you're going to get in. You like to get a little bullpen work in before every game, but you're not sure how much to get in, because what if the starter gets knocked out in the second and they need you to go cover 5, 6, or 7 innings?
Hasn't pitched since August 5th. That was for Louisville at Scranton.
So oftentimes a long man's life goes like that. You try to get a little work in. You get called in the second inning. If you don't get called in the second inning, then sometimes you go extra innings. You get called in at the 12th or 13th, and then it's your ball game. And perhaps you haven't really been in a major league game in more than a week. What you try to do in that situation is, throw strikes. Not all of your breaking stuff is going to work. That's the stuff that leaves you the quickest when you don't have a lot of touches. Would just let that breaking ball high.
And especially with a 12-run lead. Throw strikes. And he does right there.
Came right back with it. That was a good idea.
And he gets Nick Hundley swinging.
Well, he hung the breaking ball right before to Nick Hundley, and Hundley looked at it. But he comes right back with a good one this time and says, you know what, I've got a better one than that.
So 1 down here in the 9th. And Alberto Gonzalez steps in. Flew out in the 7th. 2 aboard. Reds trying for their 4th straight victory. 1-1 the count to Alberto Gonzalez. 2 on, 1 out in the 9th. Foul back. One-two pitch, way up and out, outside. At one point, people were calling Travis Wood the best pitcher in the Reds rotation. There was a stretch when many thought that.
Well, there was a stretch when he really was. But he was the only guy that really would give you a quality start out there.
Second straight strikeout, and the Reds are an out away.
And I think a couple of things happened with Wood. Number one, his command went away, and the other thing is that he stopped doing that. Last year when he was at his best, he pitched north and south. And he's got a very quick arm action. He can throw that fastball by right-handed hitters up in the zone. And he kind of stopped doing that, fell in love with the cutter, and I think he's gone back down to Louisville and learned how to go back to basics.
Fans to their feet. 31,374 showed up tonight as Logan Forsythe looks at strike number 1. Fans have been treated tonight. 7 long balls, 13 runs. Every run scored tonight via the home run. The 1-1 pitch outside. Just missed inside. 3-1. In the air, right side. Jay Bruce going to the line and gloves it. And the Reds, for the first time since May, are winners of 4 straight. 13-1. A shellacking of the San Diego Padres. Their second straight victory over the Padres. And what a night for the offense.
Well, what has been consistent through this 4-game winning streak is the Reds have had good, solid starting pitching. Tonight it was Homer Bailey that dominated the Padres in his 7 innings. The bats, of course, took over. 7 bombs hit out of here tonight. 13 runs overall. That's a feel-good night for Dusty Baker's crew.
We'll be back with much more after this on the home of the Reds, Fox Sports Ohio.